Hi guys, so have you noticed that lately certain things provoke you and your mind is just off to the races? Well, I've figured out the ways to overcome being mindful over mindful. Okay, so mindfulness, I'm sure you've heard that term before, and it's so weird that, it took me a long time to click with the fact that mindfulness is really rooted in the word mindful. And I was like, wow, I wonder where that came from. And now I'm kind of understanding, because when I teach meditation, a lot of the pushback I get, because I really do try to teach older people meditation, because they're the ones that kind of have the rigid mind patterns and they think they can't be a meditator. And I'm like, it's not about silencing your mind. It's about causing that separation so that you can view the mind as separate from you, because you are not your mind. I studied Course in Miracles for a very long time, over 10 years, before I really got that separation. So I know it's not easy, and it's like, wow, I'm just the presence, I'm the stillness, I'm the silence, and the mind is just kind of a recording, whatever you want to call that. So what mindfulness is it's letting, and this is just for the way I'm going to teach it here, it's letting, of course I'm going to sneeze right now, excuse me, it's letting the mind be full and you being mindful of it. Because what ends up happening when you create that separation, where you're able to watch the mind and not be the mind, a lot of people, I don't know where you're at on your journey, I don't, but a lot of people think that their mind is them. And that's really sad, because that recording that goes on in our head, that is usually not the best teacher, and we don't really want to think that that's us. And so this video is very important, because what I'm trying to help you understand, or if you're trying to help yourself understand, is that you can break free from that. And the moment that you start to create that separation, your mind will start to lose its momentum, lose its speed, lose its triggers, lose all of that, and then you can get to a peaceful state of mind. So let's go on this journey and get there. Okay, so the first thing we have to understand is, why is our mind so full? Why doesn't it stop? It's just always analyzing, figuring out, judging, discerning, dictating, deciding. We could go on and on. It's doing a whole lot. And that's doing is the masculine principle. And on this planet, we have become very dominated in our masculine energy. And that's why the planet is experiencing such toxicity, because when we have an imbalance, then we're not in our divine principles, then we become toxic masculine. It's not a gender. This is us. Masculine is our doing, our action, our mind, our thinking, right? Feminine is our unconscious, our feeling, our, our creative abilities, those type of things, our intuition, the unseen, the silent stillness. And so we've really lost touch with that. And so this is just it's an ongoing war right now of us trying to let go of this masculine dominance. And the person that needs to start that is not going out there and trying to fix the world. First, you got to fix your own mind. And so this video is about, how do we do that? And that is, simply getting more in tune with the feminine, but that seems a little convoluted. So we're going to become mindful of our mindfulness and start to cause that separation so that we can get more in tune with our soul and get less momentum, energy that we've been giving to these loops and patterns that we think are us, a break. And so this is how you do it. You really just start to recognize you want it. I want to understand how to see that my mind is not me, that it is on autopilot. It is a loop. It is a spin. It is a recording. This trigger happens, the mind does this. And then I would also like to point out, in the conscious expansion and bringing back the divine feminine and bringing the world back to balance, I think what the universe is providing us is triggers for the one thing that can bring about a force of psychic energy to the one thing that if we break, that we will be free. And so for some of us, that might look like a soul contract with a person that rejects us, if we have a lot of rejection self-talk, or if you've had a lot of paranoia in your life, like let's say you grew up in an area that was very ghetto, and now all of a sudden you always got to be watching your back, you this, that, and then you're going to be provided with a scenario that's consistently triggering your paranoia. And then your mind is consistently, going into paranoids. This person's stalking me, this person's doing that, this person, and constant thinking about that paranoid type energy. If you were consistently dictated by your parents that you had to be successful, if your boss, you might get a soul contract with a boss who just totally deflates your ego and makes you feel invalid and doesn't validate you, and just then your mind will be off to the races with that, because these are the mental programs that your soul wants to provide you, a catalyst to help you go crazy so you let it go. So, I've coached over a decade now, and those are the three top ones: a boss, something to cause us paranoia like a stalker, or somebody rejecting us. Yeah, the real intense, real intense. So what's happening, and I think the intensity is coming from the psychic energy, the looping is causing our vibration to be all over the place, and then it causes chaos outside because our vibration causes the outer. And so through awakening, which my ego wants to tell you this real bad, my awakening was worse than anybody's on the planet. Disclaimer, I don't agree with my ego. I'm sure we've all went through it. But I did go through a pretty rough one. So I just want you to be aware that that's why that's happening, because once you let go of that is not you, whatever you want to call that, your ego patterns of mind, the psychic energy your mind's looping, whatever that is, once you get that catalyst integration where you're not doing that loop anymore, you get back a lot of energy, a lot of power, so that you can start using it in a way that you couldn't before. Yeah. So here's the ways to start doing it. Okay, so now that we kind of get a couple of constructs of what's being provided by the universe to help our mind get really triggered and doing the things that it does, you can kind of get that foresight to understand, okay, this is my catalyst, this is my challenge, this is where my mind goes off to the races, and so this is where the war is. Okay. And so that way you can provide yourself with that understanding that when I'm triggered and my mind does this, I'm going to fall for it. I'm going to fall for all the stories it tells me, all the self-sabotage things I should do, what I should say to this mofo, what I should do to this mofo. I'm going to fall for all of that. And you just got to start acknowledging that that's what you've been doing. That's step one, is just acknowledging, becoming self-aware, right? So these are my triggers: rejection. Bam, I'm going to tell him this so he feels bad for doing this. I hope he feels ashamed of himself, or this, that. That's the number one call when somebody has rejection or abandonment wounds. Does he even feel bad? I hope he feels like shit for what he did to me. And I'm like, oh, I hope not, because that's just going to cause more separation, So we got to get to these states where we're understanding that our ego thinks that that's the way, and it's not. So the key here is not to overanalyze or figure out how to change it. It's just to get that separation, y'all. Because once you stop feeding that momentum and doing the things that it's doing, it just slowly goes away, and then you're free. We don't have to fight it that way. We just have to fight. The fight is becoming self-aware that I'm not going to do the things that this crazy ass ego is telling me to do. I'm not going to overthink. I'm going to try really hard to say, ooh, here it is, and then go into a different new way of conceptualizing what's happening. I am not my mind. That's the first step. That self-realization, that pause. I'm not my mind. Here it goes. And that's where mindfulness comes in. So here, after you get the pause, now what? Now is where that term mindfulness comes from. Now you're going to watch it. And it can be super fun once you start to do it. Initially, it's going to be real persuasive to not watch it, to just be it. Over and over analysts, all of those things. I wrote down some things about what it wants to do. Oh, it needs to understand. It needs to understand. That was a huge thing for me. Why is he rejecting me? What did I do wrong? Why is he not answering me? Is he with somebody? Does he not care anymore? What can I say to make him respond? What can I do? Should I go drive by his house? Should I this? Should I that? And it was like, that's not me. My higher, wiser self, from that limited perspective of looping that I've been doing since who knows when, is not even me. I have to be mindful of it. Ooh. Keep going. You got more? What else should we do? Oh, we should call up his ex. Oh, we should stalk her on Facebook. Oh, we should do this. We should do that. And you have to. And for me, it was comedy. I'm a Libra rising, y'all. Everything is about, I got to make it happy. I got to make it happy. And so it was like, oh, look at what it's telling me to do. Look at what it's saying. And I'm going to tell you, the suckiest part of the whole journey is becoming mindful of patterns that are very persuasive because we've done it so much before, and it makes us feel safe and in control. If I go to her page and she posts a picture with some other guy, I'll feel better. It's very persuasive. It makes us think if we do all these things, we'll feel better, but we have to recognize the only reason we're feeling bad is these mind loops. And we got to take the power away from them. And so this is the flip right here. Mindfulness is seeing it without judging and just kind of looking at it, watching it. You got to create that separation. I'm telling you, this is it. Everything all starts here. It's called self-realization because your self is the one listening. That's your soul. That's your higher self. That's you, your divine self. And all this ego stuff in the third dimension, that isn't you. And that's what you've been wasting your energy on. This is what's been causing you all the pain and heartache in your life. Okay, so how do we start to become the watcher of it? The mindful person that's watching this looping psychic energy that is not us. We have to have a plan. First and foremost, what I would do is, because I gave you some examples of what are the ones that send my mind off to the races. And so a big way that I've really started to coach people to do, which is in my coaching program, is to start small. And so that would be the small ones. I always bring up customer service. I still suck at that. My mind wants these people to feel how awful their company is, how bad they did me. They did me wrong, and then my mind's like, tell them this, say that, say this, say that, make them paid, make them say sorry, make them do, And so creating the separation from that is still a struggle for me. I did it yesterday at the grocery store. And my daughter, the Leo that she is, just have yourself a Leo kid. It's a wrap. She just gave me that stern look. I was like, ooh. But I was going to do this, y'all. It just takes me a minute on the hard ones. I don't know why customer service is such a hard one with me. And maybe it's a collective thing because we all kind of go off to the races with that one. But start with the small ones. And just like, ooh, look at me being a jerk. This person just works for a big-ass company and they have absolutely zero to do with the fact that my package didn't come. Nothing. We all make mistakes too. If we said the wrong thing or did the wrong thing, do we want people to freaking send us to the cross? No. So you got to create the pause on the small ones first. Get some of that understanding of how you can separate yourself and watch it like, ooh, look at my little ego mind wanting to be off to the races and be a jerk. Ooh, look at me being a Karen. Yeah. And you just watch it and you laugh. I'm telling you, laughter is the best medicine, for real. Yeah. And then you can move on to things like road rage. Road rage is fun. Which I've talked about in other videos. But those are the smaller ones. And then you move to the bigger ones like paranoia, rejection, abandonment, boss's career, because you feel, your career is what your identity is based on. So then it can be identity issues, and then you just pay attention. But you just got to start small so you can understand what we're doing here, which is becoming mindful of that is not us. That is our mind in a pattern thinking that it's in control and it's going to figure things out or do something to make people change, and that's bullshit. The only thing that makes anything change is our vibration, and these mind patterns and this circus and roller coaster and chaos it's taking us on has got our vibration all over the place. Can't have a good life like that. Yeah. So when we're consistently triggered, our mind is doing crazy. Our life becomes crazy. 1 step forward, 3 step back. Doing really good. Life is good. I get triggered. Oh, now I've screwed up everything today. I've lived in different areas of the country that were extremely different culturally, financially, just everything. And the one thing I know for sure is the people that have less triggers, the more successful they are. I will literally watch somebody in the area of the country that is in poverty and has a lot of emotional triggers and they feel very justified in this. I'll show this be that type of thing. They can't move forward, y'all. They're consistently triggered all over the place. No judgment. Have it. I'm done with trying to help people that don't want to help themselves. And that's, you got to get on that too, because the only person we need to help is us. And I'm using that as the example because you will get nowhere in life if you're consistently triggered. You can understand it from a vibrational place because reality dictates your vibration. Or you can understand it from if you're consistently triggered, you're not doing big moves, power plays. You're fighting little funks every day, all day. We have to be able to move above it, rise above it, let it not affect us so much, and keep going. So get mindful, because what mindfulness is doing is it's allowing you to view situations without taking it personal, without trying to figure out how to change the situation or any of that, and just move the freak on to what does work, to the people who don't reject you, to things that don't cause you paranoia, to bosses that won't treat you like crap, to feel fulfilled no matter what is happening. That's what mindfulness provides you. Because from that mindful place that's not in the ego of judging and discerning and figuring out how to do one up on somebody and all of those things, that mindful place part of you is just like, oh, interesting. That person did that. Oh, interesting. This happened, with no judgment. Because all judgment is doing is affecting you and your vibration in your life. Let people be who they want to be. Rise above it. Okay, so I hope that really helps, because this is it, y'all. You just got to learn to really see what it is that provides you with a catalyst to understand the mind programs that your soul is trying to help you get rid of, so that you can walk across this earth without babbling all day and every day. That's all it is. And we do that by taking back the power, the psychic energy that we've given a lot of our power to, and bringing it back to the soul. The soul doesn't give a shit what people want to create. Oh, you want to be a shitty man and reject me? Go for it. You want to be a shitty boss? Go for it. You want to not see the beauty in me? You don't want to hear the words I'm saying to you? You want to project your wounding on me? Go for it. We got to stop getting triggered by this stuff and move to the people that aren't doing that stuff. And the only way is this. Because if we don't heal these mind traps, these mind things, then we will continually, consistently attract people that match the mind. The mind is the creator. All there is mind. All right, so end tangent. I felt that got a little bit on a tangent, but I'm very passionate about this. I literally thought I should be a meditation teacher and all of these things. And it's like, that didn't really float my boat. What really floats my boat is helping people through what I've learned through storytelling. So, I hope you really understand how to, that mindfulness, rather than just falling for the mind full of crap, and getting that separation can really help impact your life in a positive way. And so it's a very small step to take. So start now. And if you have any stories about how you've employed mindfulness and how it's helped you, please share in the comments. I'd love to hear it. I'm always open to what helped you might help me. Geez, help. All right. So that's it for now. If you liked the video, please like, share, subscribe. And until next time, take care.